One 25-year-old from Florida could make history in Washington come the November election. Maxwell Frost won the Democratic nomination for the state's 10th congressional district, making him one step closer to the possibility of becoming the first Gen Z member of Congress. Maxwell Frost joins me live for more on this. Now, you beat out 9 competitors, including 2 former members of Congress for the Democratic nomination during the primary. How are you feeling about this big win?
Well, thank you so much for having me on. I am feeling incredibly grateful and incredibly blessed to all the folks who knocked doors, made phone calls, the organizations, the individuals who supported this campaign. Look, it was my name on the ballot, but at the end of the day, it's really about a movement of shared values here in Central Florida that is around love, that no matter who you are, you deserve health care, you deserve to live in a clean environment, you deserve to live free of gun violence. And so just feeling incredibly grateful for my community, really believing in me. And off to the general election in November.
And you were just 25 years young. Why do you think your age is getting so much attention, and why is it so important when it comes to bringing a different perspective to Washington?
Definitely. Well, look, the reason I ran is just to represent my district, my home, Orlando, Florida. Being Gen Z isn't the reason I ran, but it is an important part of the story. I think what it shows is the much needed diversity that's needed in Washington, D.C., which, yes, includes diversity of age, but also experience and also race and everything under the sun. And so as an organizer, someone who's been doing this work for 10 years, I came into this movement because of gun violence, and that's what got me involved in the first place. I'm going to bring the urgency that the issue deserves to Congress. You know, I come from a generation that has been through more school shooting drills and fire drills. And so when I'm in DC, when I'm working on legislation, when I'm speaking with folks, I'm coming at the issues with that sense of urgency that it deserves and needs.
A unique generation indeed. This is a generation, many of them born after 9/11. Can you tell me what issues are important to Gen Z?
You know, I think the issues that are important to Gen Z are the same ones that are important to everybody else, right? Being able to live our life with opportunity, the resources we need, and not being in a world where we have to pick between rent and healthcare, and where we go out to and feel like, you know, scared of gun violence. And so I think the difference, though, is the lens in which we see the issues through. Being a generation that has grown up through so many mass shootings, being in a generation that is asking questions, why haven't we dealt with climate change and the impending climate crisis? We see what's going on around the world, in Pakistan, here at home, here in Florida, which is ground zero for the climate crisis here in the United States. And we're asking, why hasn't this been dealt with yet? And so it's the same issues, I believe, but it's the different perspective and it's a different sense of urgency.
And it was not that long ago that Congresswoman Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, when she was running, was getting a lot of attention for being in her 20s. What do you say to those who may think that you are too young to serve in Congress?
Well, I think what prepares me to serve in Congress is my experience working with the ACLU, working with March for Our Lives to build the world that we really deserve to live in. And so what I'd tell them is, you know, I was knocking doors to some voters a few months ago. Someone answered the door and said, "How old do you have to be in Congress anyway? You know, you look kind of young." And I said, "It says 25 years old in the Constitution, ma'am." And she looked at me and smiled and said, "Well, it sounds like you're just on time." And so that's what I tell folks. We're just on time. We've been marching, we've been voting, and now we're running for office.
All right, Maxwell Frost, thank you so much for joining us today.
Of course. Thank you for having me.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.